gonna be safe and sound tonight.
So after the election yesterday and everyone's disappointment, I just wanted to make a video about how democracy works within Arkology and Ancapasan framework. So the arena is an extremely important part about voting, and there will be requirements for overflow voting just because of the nature of the numbers that we're working with here. So this is some mathematics surrounding bleachers. You have people spaced 2.5 feet apart. Chairs would be good. You could mark off the chairs. If you don't want to make chairs or actually manufacture chairs, you could just mark them off with paint or markings. But the stadium that I go to just kind of has like very mass-produced chairs that give a sense of organization between people. That's what you want, so people can't cramp together or spread out or whatever to enlarge their numbers. So 100-foot long bleacher sections. In this video I didn't do that, but let's just pretend that they're all 100 feet. The sections of people are 100 feet exactly. This is 100 divided by 25 is 40 people per row, and 4 rows is 160 people per bleacher. So this is 160 people right here, all lined up, all ready to vote. Real simple, real quick. And you know the phrase "stand up and be counted"? Well, that's exactly what we're doing here. See how this works? It's brilliant, isn't it? There's no ballots, there's no counting the ballots, there's no trusting people to count ballots. Every single person in this process can look around and see and count for themselves so quickly because everyone's aware of this math. This math is transparent. 160 per bleacher. So if we turn here, actually let me do... There we go. It's a little bit better, I guess. Anyway, this is 2 bleachers back. So you have 160 from the earlier calculation times 2 is 320 per section. You have 6 sections horizontally. So that's times 6 is 1920. That's how easy it is to count 2,000 people. You just look. You don't. There's no counting. There's no math you have to do in your head because someone else already did the math. That's 2,000 people right there. 9 levels, you have 17,000 people. 3 triangle sides, you have 52,000 people. Just like that. Now, let's say we have an election, right? Who's winning this election out of these 3 colors? Who do you think's winning the election? Is it blue? Is blue winning the election? What are the ratio of the votes? Such a hard question to ask. Does this one have 8 and the bottom? And this one has 2, and this one has 4. I don't know. Like, I just can't do the math. So many ballots, all these paper. I'm imagining that meme where the guy's like dropping everything and he's like laughing, like, "Oh, dropping all the ballots." Whoa, I have so many paper ballots. It's really ridiculous, isn't it? And this would really shine in the monarch election, the multi-level monarch election. If we're talking full monarchy, this isn't even used that much. This would actually shine better in a non-full monarchy, pre-version 2 of the social contract. The social contract version 2, you're really only using this process to overthrow the king and to vote or approve of tax rate changes and large public projects. So the voting of the multi-round voting of the king would be really great because each one of these bleachers could be a candidate. Each one of these bleacher sections can be a different candidate. And then you just look. You just use your eyes. It's so simple. Oh, it's really sad. And like, we have arenas, don't we? They're kind of a tool of democracy, or they could be a tool of democracy if we allow them to be. but we don't allow them to be. They just sit empty. They sit idle. Think of all the concerts that you could have in an arena. Think of the theater. You could have Shakespeare in an arena. Why not? Because there's going to be a lot of empty seats. Like, who cares? I don't know. It's a very strange thing. You could have investing. I had this big dream. This dream for years, for a decade. You have like a bond market in an arena, and people pitch their idea on the stage. People like, so you have your concert, not your concert hall, but you have your stage right here at the pinnacle of the pyramid, and these people, they pitch their idea. That's what they do. Like, that's all they do. And then everyone just finances the bonds. And like, oh, it'd be so incredible. I have so many dreams of what society might be like if we weren't insane. If we weren't glued to this terrible, terrible system that we have. It's a tragedy of what we do to ourselves. How we organize society is just a tragedy. Look at how organized this is. Like, this is what democracy could be. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Oh man, sorry, that just came to me, and I could not resist. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video on democracy within Arkology. For the record, I am personally more in favor of full monarchism. I don't have a bias, I promise. But if you have a subversion 2 copy of the social contract that you're operating on, then this is exactly how you would be electing everyone. Is exactly a process like this. There was always my vision to like have a voting system like this, and I kind of explained it with words, but doing the math and then showing the math in 3D like this is really really a beautiful thing. It's you'll love to see it. And God, what a huge boost to the system. And then you already have your PA. You have your speakers and your microphones already. Like, it's already set up for this purpose. Like, what are you guys doing with the paper ballots? I mean, for those of you who get a hard-on for democracy, this should be like like porn to you. I really don't care for it. I really turned the corner towards full monarchism, especially since coronavirus. I don't know, just in general, like who is your local, like, who's your local people that run things? No one knows, right? And if a judge harms you in a court case, like, what redress of grievances do you have? You have, like, maybe an appeals process, and those people are corrupt too. And then how many people does this judge need to abuse before he comes close to losing an election? Like 10% of the population. Honestly, in our college, and then if you tell people not to vote, if you encourage people not to vote so that the people who are abused have a larger say, then the corrupt people can outnumber the abused people. Right? So the corrupt people are now in power and are now winning the democratic system because the judges are only abusing 5% of the population, only abusing 10 or 15% of the population. Whereas if in the full monarchism system, if the king lets his judges abuse people, everyone's going to flip out and have a vote of no confidence. And that king is going to live in fear of that vote of no confidence. That's like the bane of his existence. Quite literally. He's literally banishing the king. It's the bane of his existence. It's in the most literal of phrases. So, that king is going to come down hard and come down fast on any corrupt judges. That's his job, is to fire judges. Like, that's why the king exists. And then to appoint justices who will do the job right. So the king is essentially the king's responsibility is to be the greatest voter. he's the ultimate voter because he appoints all the judges. So he's like the king of the democracy is the king. And then the people within the democracy, all they need to do is make sure everyone is following the social contract. So I wanted to actually make a visual aid for this. Like, the judges are kind of, in a full monarchism system, the judges are kind of at the bottom. And then, well, the social contract would be the foundation. And then the judges are above that. And then the king is above the judges. And then the whole of the people are above the king because of Article 14. So I call it, instead of horseshoe theory, I call that the seesaw theory. That looks like a seesaw. I should have made it for this video. But I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say. They have the social contract, then the judges, then the king, which is tiny. That's the fulcrum. And then you have the whole of the population, which is what you sit on of the seesaw. Those are the seats of the seesaw. So that's my full monarchism seesaw theory. I am copywriting it as we speak. It just popped into my head last night when I was thinking about how full monarchism works and the theory behind full monarchism. Anyway, yeah, I've gone on too long at this point, and I'm tired of swinging around this camera and just... It does look pretty, doesn't it, though? It's really pretty. Yeah, so... if you're upset about this election, if you're upset about the process, if you're upset about how confusing it is and how non-transparent it is, just know that this system exists and we could be having this system with ranked choice voting. This is also multi-round caucus, so it's the equivalent of ranked choice as well, eliminating not only transparent but also eliminates the two-party system. But full monarchism is still better. Anyway, that's it. Thank you.
It's over. Nobody wins.
If you want to see a new and better world come to fruition, as I do, then like, share, and subscribe. You can find an incredible amount of math, knowledge, and 3D renders by clicking on the channel name. And remember, we need you to help spread this vision across the internet for all to see and become familiar with. Let us build this new world together.